How you guys doing? This is Mark Worch back to another episode. I started reading a lot the last year. I'm reading an average of one book per week, and here's how I'm doing it. I eliminated all screen time. I deleted all social from my phone. I stopped watching Netflix. The typical book that I read is like 270 to 300 pages. I read really slow. I'm reading like 2.5 minutes per page. It takes me anywhere from like 12 to 20 hours to finish a book. It's like a super in-depth book. It's going to take me like 20 hours, something like super dense. Like if I'm reading about physics or evolutionary biology, something like that. If I'm reading an autobiography or something, it could be like 12 to 15 hours. If you do the math, let's say you're on the slow pace and it's 20 hours. In a week, you got to read about 3 hours a day. You're probably like, holy shit, that's a ton of reading I have to do in one day. Stop this video right now and just on Instagram, see what your average watch time is. I promise you, it's probably more than 2 hours if you're like me. I talked to my buddy the other day. He said he was close to like 5 or 6 hours during an 8-hour workday. So if you eliminate a lot of that screen time, you're gonna have time to read. So that's a book a week, right? I just got done reading about 6 months ago actually, but I wanted to talk about this. 38 Letters from John D. Rockefeller to his son. And the title suggests exactly what it is. They're letters from John D. Rockefeller, the big oil tycoon, to his son, and their lessons, life lessons that he learned from business, and he wanted to pass it on to his son, and then his son writes back in the letters too. It's really cool. You could actually do like one letter a day and bang it out in 38 days, or do it in half the time. I like this book. It's nice. It's a nice sized book. It's got like a nice little soft felt front. I like the pages. Love the smell. The font's good. The pages are like not like impossible to get through, so it's pretty good. I wanted to go through a couple of my highlights that I did while I was reading the book. I usually highlight anything that catches my eye, whether it's a whole paragraph or a saying, and then when I'm done reading the book, I'll go back and kind of go over it and just get some main takeaways that I got from the book. So I wanted to share some of those with you guys. A lot of these are like kind of one-liners that JD Rockefeller drops, but then he also drops like a few stories that are really applicable. And I was just like, this is great. I'm glad I wish I would have read this years ago. Right off the rip, his first letter, John D. Rockefeller talks about how luck is a remnant of design. You ever hear about how, people always talk about rich person and that person got really lucky. They were super lucky. It was the right timing. They got money from their family, or for whatever reason, they were lucky. J.D. Rockefeller says luck is a remnant of design, i.e. like Rob Dyrdek used to always say, make your own luck. You can create your own luck. You set up the opportunities, or what's the platitude what people always say? Luck is where opportunity meets preparation. So a lot of times people will get lucky. You see that people constantly getting lucky. They're always getting lucky, but those people also kind of design their life so they're always getting lucky. They're always in the right place at the right time. They always happen to meet the right person at the right time. But if you kind of reverse engineer that, they're at the right places at the right time. Exactly. They set up their life. They're very intentional, and they go to the right networking meetings or meet the correct people, or they put themselves out there to talk and to meet people. So they design their lifestyle so they can get lucky. Because you hear a lot of guys like Mark Cuban talks about, he always says somebody's got to be the luckiest man in the world. I'm just glad it's me. And he says that because he got super fucking lucky in the late 90s. He sold some sports.net. It was even a .net where he was like broadcasting live sporting events. He ended up selling that to Yahoo to somebody for an ungodly amount. And the business was basically worth nothing, but it was a .com bubble. So he always says that, but he was in the right place at the right time. He was putting in work. He saw a trend. He saw an opportunity, and he jumped on it. So he designed his life that way. So luck is a remnant of design. He goes on to say that anything can happen in the world, but nothing can happen without doing anything. I.e., if you're going to reap what you sow, or if you don't sow, you're not going to reap anything. He says in his fourth letter, if you look at the ordinary people, you will find that they are all living passively. They always say much more than they do, or they even do nothing. Again, this goes on to making your own luck. It's a remnant of design, putting in the work and being proactive. One of the things that he says in one of his letters is, I've resonated with so much, is there's so many things to do in life, but there's not enough time. I don't know if you guys feel like you're going throughout your day and you have just so many things to get done, and you get to the end of the day and you're like, what did I even get done today? What did I even do? I feel like that all the time. There's so many things in life that I want to do or accomplish and move forward, but I never feel like there's enough time to continue to add to that. He goes on to say, knowledge is originally empty, and unless knowledge is put into action, nothing will happen. We all know that super highly intellectual individual, super intelligent person that we would just trade minds with, because they've always just been so far beyond anyone else. But then you look at their life and it's not reflected in their life. They're not doing anything with their life. It reminds me of that movie Good Will Hunting with Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and the late Robin Williams. Matt Damon is just an absolute mathematical genius, or genius in everything, but he's a janitor at some community college. He's not doing anything with his life. Frequent contact with successful people with ambitions will also enable you to develop the ambitions and actions needed to succeed. We've all heard the show me your 5 friends and I'll show you who you are. Take the average of your 3 to 5 closest friends, take the average of their income, and that's going to be your income. So hang out with people that are ambitious and they do high action things, and not just sitting around watching Netflix, playing video games all day. These are people that are living congruent with what they say they want to do, and then you can live congruent with them also. So surround yourself with those people. I love this. In letter 29, he goes on to talk about 3 strategies that give him an advantage over other people when he's doing business with them. I'm going to read these to you guys. The first strategy is make up your mind from the beginning and pay attention to your competition and resources of your competitors. My takeaway from that is to identify who your competition is and what are the resources they have. Is this like a really big company and they have unlimited marketing budget, or they have unlimited resources to get the best talent out there or get the best product? And if they do, in some ways, they're at a disadvantage if they're bigger than you, because there's a lot of bureaucracy that they have to go through where you can just pull the trigger and make things happen. Then he goes into the second strategy: research and review the opponent's situation and then make good use of this knowledge to form your advantages. Again, he's analyzing his competitors, their situation, putting himself in their shoes, and then from there he's deciding how he's going to approach it. It's just a game. That's all business is. And the third strategy, which I absolutely love, is you must have the right mindset. From the beginning, you must make up your mind, pursue victory, which means that you must act positively and ruthlessly under moral constraints, because this attitude comes directly from cruel and ruthless goals. One of the stories that he talks about in letter 28 is he's kind of interviewing a guy that he's going to get ready to do business with. So he asks the guy the question, what do you think the government can do to abolish prisons in 30 years? Wipe out prisons within a 30-year time period. What can the government do to make that happen? And this guy just goes on a rant about how it's not possible, how if we got rid of the prisons, these are all the negative effects. You'd have criminals running all over the place. You would have people committing more crimes because there are no prisons, there are no repercussions. And that was obviously a test question. Rockefeller wanted this guy to think for himself and just answer the fucking question. What can be done to get rid of prisons? And instead, this guy thought of all the negative things if prisons were even gone. Another one of his great quotes, he talks about children, the road to success is paved with gold, but this road is just a one-way street. At this moment, we need an optimistic attitude. There he goes. He talks about a mindset, being positive and being optimism. I got a bunch of other things that I highlighted in here, but that's it for now. You get a chance. The 38 Letters from John D. Rockefeller to His Son. It's a really good book. Get it on Amazon right now. Check it out. You guys won't regret it.